Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the perfect matcha latte at home. Also, I'm a little sick, so excuse my voice. I literally sound like an old grandpa, but dramatic effect, you know? If you're at home and you're like, what is matcha? Why do my matchas taste so mid? My matcha lattes don't taste good. This is a video for you. So the most important thing you need first is a good quality matcha. Some of my favorites are Rocky's matcha. This matcha is so good. It has a beautiful nutty aftertaste. It's a very smooth matcha with no bitterness. Great everyday matcha. I also really like kettle tea matcha. The one that I've tried so far is the Hanaka matcha. I don't have it with me right now, but that one is a very roasted nutty matcha as well. I've recently also been drinking Nami matcha, which I actually just finished, so waiting for a restock. But this one is a very mellow, light matcha flavor. It's great for lattes. And one that I've always loved is Junbi matcha. This is a very umami forward matcha. And these are all ceremonial grade matchas, so you want to make sure that the matcha you choose is good quality. You want it to have this vibrant green color, because if you're using a matcha like this, you know it's not going to taste good, because this is culinary grade matcha and not ceremonial grade. So if you compare the color, it's like a more yellowy green color compared to this. So that's probably the most important step, to be honest, is to get a good matcha. This is one that I got online. This one is by the brand Hoshino Matcha. This is the Yame no Tsuyu matcha. And this is $8 plus shipping. Another thing you will need is a chawan or bowl, a chasen, which is a bamboo whisk. You could use an electric whisk if that's all you have, but I highly recommend hand whisking your matcha. The flavor will just be so much better. You'll also need a sifter for your matcha. This is one that I got on Amazon. I think it's by JT. And then these are my two special sifters from 3 Snow. It's a Japanese brand. They also collab with Kettle, so you can also find it there as well. Beautiful, so beautiful. Look at the colors. And don't forget, you also need a chashaku or a bamboo scoop. Looks like this to scoop your matcha out. Another important factor to making a good matcha latte is having good milk. This one is one of my favorites. It's by Minor Figures. It's the Barista Blend Oat Milk. Another favorite of mine that's oat milk is the Califia Farms Oat Milk Barista Blend as well. This one is one that I recently tried. It's like one of my new favorites. This is a blend of oats and fermented koji rice, perfect for coffee, matcha, or cereal. And I also sometimes like to use soy milk, and the soy milk I use is the Japanese soy milk. You also need a cup. I've been using this whisk jar recently. I also have this cup from Amazon that I always use, and some straws. These are my favorite straws that I always use. So without further ado, let's make the perfect matcha latte. So I'm going to be using the Hoshino matcha. Every time I open a new tin of matcha, my cats go crazy because they think I'm opening a can of wet food. So, oh my gosh, they're coming. They're coming. It's just matcha, you guys. You see how vibrant of a green that is? I'm gonna use around 3 big scoops from the bamboo scoop. Just because I like my matcha a lot stronger. I find that most cafes don't use enough matcha for their lattes, and it just tastes milky, and you don't want a milky matcha. You want something strong and delicious. So, oh, it smells so good. So after you sift your matcha, it should look something like this. That color is like actually so gorgeous. and it smells so good. I cannot believe this matcha is only $8. Next step is to take your whisk or chasen. You want to pour hot water over it so that the bristles of the bamboo expand and it's less likely to break, because they are very delicate and you want to be extra careful with your chasen care. So every morning when I make my matcha latte, I make sure to bloom my whisk, is what it's called. And you want to use hot water. And now you're going to whisk your matcha. When you whisk your matcha, you want to make sure it's in a W or M formation, and don't try to like have the bristles touch the bottom of your bowl. Oh, it smells so good. It smells like, it's like a deep, I don't want to use the word vegetal because I hate that word so much, but it is like a very deep vegetal smell. I don't know why, I just don't like that word. The word vegetal and the word astringent, I don't know why, I just don't like those words. It just like makes me feel weird. I almost forgot about sweetener. I always like to use agave syrup or maple syrup. Obviously I'm like all out, so I'll just use whatever is left. And try not to use too much sweetener because it could really just change the matcha flavor. Just like a little bit, you don't need too much. So I used to be like a hardcore coffee drinker, and I had like my own espresso machine. I would make lattes like at least twice a day, but my anxiety was getting so bad, and like I wouldn't jitter, but I just felt like so anxious all the time. Not that I still don't, but I definitely think coffee was not really for me, at least to drink so much of it. I do like it once in a while, but the main reason I started to switch to matcha is because I found that matcha is a lot more like relaxing, and it helps me to not feel so anxious, and it's actually known to reduce stress as well. So matcha does have caffeine, but it also contains L-theanine, which is a amino acid that helps reduce stress. So that's why when you drink coffee, you get really jittery, like a lot of anxiety sometimes. But when you drink matcha, you don't get that like high and crash as coffee. It's a more like slow energy boost, and you feel more relaxed and better. And it can help increase focus and attention, which I definitely need that. Matcha also contains a lot of other health benefits. It has antioxidants, it contains vitamin C, fiber, zinc, etc., etc. So this is my matcha of choice today, Minor Figures Barista Oat. And now for the moment of truth. Wow, that's so beautiful. Look how green! That is so gorgeous! And you want to make sure you don't waste any matcha. In this economy, you have to use every last bit of it. Wow. Wow! I'm gonna use my little purple butterfly straw. Isn't that like so beautiful, gorgeous, so green? It's about the love of my life. Okay, so we're gonna try the matcha. Are you joking? This matcha, I actually saw it on TikTok. Someone was like, oh my god, this is the most amazing matcha for the price. And I would have to agree, because for $8, I mean, I think it's only 20 grams. Yeah, 20 grams. But it is a very creamy matcha. Almost no bitterness. Almost no, I don't want to use the word astringency, but like there's barely any dryness at the end, because I know some matchas, it's like so dry where it's like, oh, like I don't like how it feels on my tongue. But it's like a very good creamy vegetal flavor, which I don't want to use that word, but it's so good. It's a very good, delicious, solid matcha. Did you guys know that matcha was actually not originated in Japan? It actually originated in China, and it was brought to Japan by a Buddhist monk who was studying Buddhism in China. And he brought back green tea seeds to grow in Japan and prepare it how he learned and saw in China. And back in the day, they used matcha not as a latte or anything like that. It was just matcha with hot water, and it was used in a traditional Japanese ceremony called sado or chanoyu. And my aunt, who lives in Japan, actually studies sado, which is like so cool. And when I visit Japan, she invites me to her like Japanese tea ceremonies, and we wear kimonos, and we sit in like the seiza position, which is like on your knees. And like by the end of it, my knees are like dead. But you have to enter the room in a certain way, you have to sit in a certain way, you have to hold the bowl in a certain way and turn it before you drink it. And it's just like the practice. It's just so elegant and beautiful, and the way they prepare their matcha traditionally, I have always loved it. But every time I go to Japan, I always take the chance to be able to experience that. So it's usually prepared with a wagashi, which I mentioned in other videos, but it's like a sweet treat, sometimes mochi with azuki, or you know, different flavors. And so you drink the matcha, and then you enjoy the wagashi, and sometimes you eat like a light meal after, which is actually kind of suffocating because the kimonos can be like so suffocating. And I'm like, ugh! Like I can't even breathe, and by the end of it, I'm like, oh my god, get me out of this. But anyways, this is how you make the perfect matcha latte at home. There's no better way to make your matcha, to be honest. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye! I'm just always so much happier with matcha.